Wait till you see what my guy, Jevohn Shepherd, our NBA analyst, is wearing on the show today. He continues to dazzle us with his wardrobe choices. I remember when Nabil Kareem once was the greatest dresser at this network, and that title now belongs to Jevohn Shepherd. How are you, my friend?
I'm great.
It's great to see you.
You know, you're always spiffy.
I'm trying my best.
Always.
I'm trying my best. I got this on anti-bullying day on Wednesday, so wear your pink shirts, your pink ties, whatever you got.
Gotcha.
Okay. Raptors down 25 late in the third, storm back, get everybody excited, ultimately fall short. More impressed with the comeback or more concerned that you can't finish off a comeback?
Well, first of all, it was really fun, right? Because you kind of counted them out. But I'll say this. A game like this is discouraging on one end, but very encouraging as well, because you're saying, okay, you got effort in the first quarter, and you see what that does, right? They force Oklahoma into 6 turnovers, right? You're in this game, and it's a really good team. You know, despite them not having Shea, despite them not having J-Dub, this is a really good, it's a championship caliber team. And then you get to the second quarter and the third quarter, it's like, what happened, right? Where's that intensity? Where's that, sense of urgency? Now you get to the fourth, and everybody like myself is saying, okay, this one's a wrap. Like, start thinking about the next one. And the first 9 minutes of that fourth quarter, you're holding Oklahoma to just 3 points, right? So you see what that type of play does. And I think, for the Raptors, it is good to see that. But it's also telling that this team has to be able to find that level of play consistently to be in the upper echelon of the league, the top-tier teams, because those teams have that sense of urgency, right? And the discouraging part is the fact that you're saying if they played 48 minutes, you come out with a win right now against Oklahoma, which you got to stack those wins for the back end of the season.
And further to your point, you mentioned no Shea, no J-Dub, no Jalen Williams. They've got the Spurs, they've got the Knicks, they've got the T-Wolves coming up. The schedule's tough. Just not an ability to see the big picture here maybe for a young Raptors team?
Yeah, I think it's learning process, right? Growth as well, because you also got to dial it back for a second and say, this team coming into the season, they weren't supposed to be here right now. Right? And, they've exceeded expectations. So that's still a part of the growing pains, and this team's got to continue to get better. And, even for Scottie Barnes, he's been a heck of a player defensively for this team. And Brandon Ingram, he's integrated well. And RJ Barrett, he's still coming back from injury. And, Jakob Poeltl. So there's still some kinks to work through. And I think don't lose sight of that, right? Sometimes you got to take a breath of fresh air and understand, like, this team's, they're playing good basketball so much that they've set new expectation, and you can't expect them to be an elite team right away. They've already moved the goalposts, right? They're much further ahead than we expected them to be, so you still got to give them some patience.
You mentioned Scottie Barnes and his incredible defensive play. It's been all season long, Jevohn. You know that. 4 blocks and 3 steals on Tuesday against a very good Oklahoma City team, and yet he is not the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. That's Victor Wembanyama, a player he'll face on Wednesday. Chet Holmgren from the Thunder, he's in there. Is it just another situation where he plays in Toronto? Maybe he almost has to. We were talking about this off camera. He's got to be like twice as good as everybody.
It's the Toronto syndrome. It's playing up north. And I think when Scottie Barnes should be getting a lot more, there should be a lot more discourse. There should be a lot more conversation about him being, Defensive Player of the Year. Wemby, yes, we understand it. Wemby eats up the entire court on both ends. I understand that. Chet, great. But when you think about Scottie Barnes, he's anchoring, a top 5, top 6 defense across the NBA. And then when you look at the rest of the team, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but there's no other elite defenders in that starting lineup that Scottie Barnes is playing with, right? The next best defender is probably Jamal Shead coming off of the bench, CMB, a rookie, and maybe Jacoby Walter, right? And Scottie Barnes is single-handedly anchoring, a top 5, top 6 defense in the league. So I think he deserves a lot more credit. He deserves a lot more recognition because he's doing it solely. And Wemby great, Chet great, but those guys are playing with 2, 3, 4 other elite defenders in the league. Scottie Barnes isn't.
And Wemby is getting the primetime games in the States, and the Thunder are obviously getting the primetime games as the defending champions. It makes the difference. People just see them more. You are going to get a chance to see Wemby and the Spurs against the Raptors. It'll be on TSN Wednesday, 7 Eastern. Jevohn, what are you looking forward to in this one? Do the Raptors have a chance? The Spurs are favored by 6.
Well, they got to take a page out of Detroit's book and just crash Wemby's chest, right? Set the tone early. And I think you got it, right? This is all about effort. This is all about intensity, but you've got to set the tone early.
Raptors basketball, Wednesday, 7 Eastern on TSN.